So there's some weird hacking going on for all these petitions that we're doing in campaigns. I think someone's been taking the signatures away. I think loads of people have been signing, and they should have about 3,000 or 4,000 signatures at least by now on the one that I'm doing, and someone's been taking signatures off because I've started doing some Facebook ads, right? And there was some weird stuff going on. I'm like, I submitted an ad and then there was a problem with it. Then I was trying to submit an ad and it kept putting Taiwan in the countries, and because I can't run an ad in Taiwan, it wouldn't let me publish it because the publish button wouldn't activate while it had Taiwan saved in the countries. So I had to remove it and then save it, and it wouldn't save. I kept removing it and it wouldn't save. Now I've submitted another ad, right? And it's registered as running. It said that it ran and it's completed, and I've spent no money, didn't have any clicks, and there's no data available for it at all. And then I've just put another one going for 2 days, and there's no data on this yet. And I don't think there's going to be, because at this stage it'd start getting data back. And then there was something really weird with the other ad that I put, because when you click on edit it, it doesn't actually edit it. It actually resubmits it again. I didn't want to resubmit it. I just wanted to edit it and not resubmit it, but it resubmitted it again, and the button wasn't doing what it said it's going to do, which I complained about that. See, that one ran for 2 days. Only got 674 clicks. Probably only got about 300 signatures on it, maybe 200. That one ran and got some clicks, and another one ran earlier, but I've deleted it. Well, I had to delete it by accident because it stopped running, and I didn't want it to stop running again, so I had to kind of delete it to stop it. And then, so that one, it's saying that it says it's completed. It says they're completed, but there's no data there at all or anything. And now this one's going, and I don't think this is going to have it either. And then also, we're trying to put a complaint from a computer, and it was blocked. I'm just trying to submit a complaint. I filled in the complaints form for Google Ads, and then I pressed the button, and it was just press the button. Nothing happened. Just pressing the button to send the complaint. Did. Didn't do it. It wouldn't send the complaint. So I managed to get through to another section of Meta where you can submit a complaint through a more sort of secure form. Managed to do that, but I'm being hacked. And I think that they've took my signatures off the petition because I've got the views. I've got the views on the petition. Like when I'm looking at how many people's viewed it, I'm into like thousands now, like 4,000 views, which is about right. But from what I've been doing, really, I should have about 3,000 signatures now at this stage. From how many views it's got percentage-wise, I should really have about a few thousand signatures from all the people I've been asking in all the groups. And then what's happening now is when I'm tagging people in groups, which you can do, Facebook says you can tag 50 people, but I'm tagging it, and then it's just disappearing. And then even when I do it on my own post, if I do it on someone else's post and they remove it, fair enough. But if I do it on my own post, I haven't removed it. No one else. I asked the other people, did you do it? They said no. It just vanishes. Facebook's taking it off. But yet, and then you're meant to be allowed to put 50 tags, it says. I just do one a day. So I'm being obstructed for some reason. And there's some other things going wrong with other websites that is really odd. When I go on to, I've been removed from certain groups. And I think this person who was doing this and hacking, I think that they've been posing as other people, as admins in other groups, and just removing me from the group and making it look like it was the admin who removed me. And then messing around with my messenger messages and stuff to fool me. And then basically, other people have gone into the group for me and asked if there's anything wrong. And they said there's just no reply or anything. And they said, look, I think I'm being deleted. Somebody's just posing as other people. It's probably anonymous. I won't be surprised if it's anonymous. And I think Boris Johnson and his party are behind anonymous. I think that Boris Johnson and Rees-Mogg and the Tories and the Highways England and all these people high up who don't want you to do anything, who've set everything so you can't possibly beat them, they're behind orchestrating things like The way it's set up is this, right? Behind the scenes, right, they're controlling absolutely everything that happens to as much capacity as they can do, right? By just posing to be other people who run things, right? Throwing people out of groups when they're in a major group where they can post things and be influential, or just to annoy you in India and make you give up trying. I want you to give up trying. Because, and also, I've noticed on 38 Degrees, right, 38 Degrees is a predominantly English, British petition site. Everyone who goes on there is mainly in England and university more orientated, right? Yet, 38 Degrees don't allow you to promote your petitions through their website. You can't pay to promote it. They pick and choose what petitions they promote, depending on how well they're doing. And that's bias. They can just choose a petition and put it in their email promotions and help it succeed if they want. You can't pay for it being promoted on there. But it's the site where you'd get people in England to sign it. Now, change.org is more of an unstable platform that's quite sketchy. It's mainly foreign people. It's a world site. And you can pay to promote your petition, but the people who look at it are usually going to be people around the world. There's a big question mark over the fact of whether we can have people from the world signing these petitions or not. We can have Canadians and Australians, but the thing is, some local councillors now are running change.org campaigns, and they're getting sponsored and promoted on there, and they're getting signatures from Timbuktu. So if local councillors in England are doing it, does that mean that they're accepting signatures from other countries or not? It seems to be trying to get people into wanting to accept signatures from other countries. But the thing is, those people from the other countries, what you're paying a hell of a lot of money to change.org to promote, aren't really interested in England or English causes. They're interested in world causes like refugees, foreign aid, diseases, things like that. They'll sign anything to do with that. You put a picture of someone suffering on there and they'll sign it straight away. But they're not really interested in, middle class causes whatsoever on there. So when you put your money into change.org, you might get a lot of views, but you're not going to get people signing unless someone's hacking it. And the thing with change.org is, very mysteriously, all the sponsored petitions that pop up right at the top of change.org are ones that perfectly fit some political stance in the image that's on the petition that this government in this country want you to see. If it's Priti Patel, a petition pops up with a woman who looks like Priti Patel. If they want him to build more houses and looks like people are homeless, and they don't want people to save heritage sites and environment, a picture pops up. The highest ranking petition that's promoted everywhere on change.org happens to be someone, refugees or homeless, walking across a field that looks shabby behind it, like, why save land when you could be building houses for these people? That's what pops up straight away, and everyone in the world sees it. That either the people behind change.org haven't really got a clue what's going on, or they're affiliated with certain parties, or the Tory party are pumping loads of all the massive profits that they're making. Care, Balfour Beatty, all these places in Ireland that are building massive blocks of houses that you can't even object against. They're making billions, right? And then if they want people to not sign petitions about housing, they'll look for a petition or start a petition about refugees, and they'll put a photo on that is very psychologically pro building houses. And that's what will pop up. So change.org's been used for a political tool that the Tories can sponsor. So everyone who engages in politics in the world and goes onto that platform will see those pictures and images and get implanted with it. It's like on the bus when it's next stop, next stop, next stop, next stop, but you're not getting off at any of those stops. So why is it saying next stop, like every sentence? Because it wants you to sit there and get used to being cued to stop something, but not act, right? So when you're not even going to have a driving license or a passport and you'll be able to vote, they don't even want you to be helping to stop things. We don't want you to help stop houses being built. Just let the driver take you where we're going. Let the builders take you where we're going. Let the political party take you where we're going. This is where we're going. The builders are taking this whole neighbourhood to, this is the end game. They're taking you like the bus driver. And that's where you're going. you know, and you're going to pass all these stops, and this neighbourhood will be exactly how we want to plan it, and you won't interact to stop, and because everything else in life's going shit and no one helped you when you needed help, you won't help them either. That's what kind of they're doing with all this psychology. You know, it's like, you know, you've eaten all the ice cream, got yourself fat, you've fucked your own body up, so, you know, why help anyone else get their body right? That's the end game now that the government are doing. They're just wanting to fuck yourself up. And now they've even got a president who's got dementia, you know. We'll inject everyone with this diabetes drugs that makes them go senile and dementia, right? Because then we fed them up with all the food, and then we inject them with all this diabetes medicine. And it's all right because now we've made the president dumb as well. The president of America is now stupid. So all the coy, clever, health fitness freak executives, you know, like Jacob Wall and people like that in the world who are very sharp and clever, you know, they just chuckle now. You know, where you know, Prince Harry and us, we're the new royals, where this elite is now replacing the royal family, and we can even plant a dumb president who's going senile, you know, and we can make anyone who votes against us or anyone who opposes our party, you'll end up going to see it. Well, we've got drugs that'll make you dumb, you know, or we'll get you addicted to his donuts, you know, like those stupid truckers in Canada, you know, who are actually even, you know, campaigning to make themselves ill. It's ridiculous. And also, the thing that Zuckerberg and Nick Clegg are doing now with Facebook is you can't use Messenger. The thing in England, you need to access English people, because English people who've got the same interests as you will sign your petition if you ask them, approach them personally. It's like in England, right? If you're waiting in a queue in England, it's polite to wait your turn in the queue. You don't jump the queue because it's not politically correct. In France, you know, it's more free-for-all, like on the roads around Paris, it's meant to be a bit of a free-for-all. In foreign countries, they kind of jump for a bank machine, you know what I mean? They always kind of jump for it at once. It's sort of like that in groups. Now, you can be in groups and you can be in Facebook groups and put a petition there. One or two people might sign it, but they don't jump on it. And there's a lot of filters that Zuckerberg and Clegg are putting, so they can't really see it, and they're not all on at the same time. It gets buried under a post if it's a busy thread, busy forum. But what you'll find is, if you actually ask each person with a prompt, oh, hi, you know, Sally James or John Higgins, please sign my petition, then they'll sign it. They'll just go signed. Done. You're kind of breaking that. It's like breaking the ice, so to say, in a way. You got to do that. Now, it breaks the ice when you tag them, because you get a notification and you actually name them and you're asking them, and you're saying the name, and then they'll do it, right? Now, you can't just do that all over the whole group to each person in a separate reply, because that is sort of spamming, you know. But the odd 50 tag a day, 50 tags twice a day it's not really spamming. But Facebook seem to be pulling, even though they say, what's the point in being allowed to tag 50 people if they're going to pull it, you know? It seems ridiculous. Now, the other way is Messenger. And also, I think people, if you're out on the group asking people don't jump on it because I guess they kind of don't want to be, you know, just kind of like, you know, it's that, what I said, it's that kind of like, sort of like breaking the ice sort of thing, you know, they're not going to jump on it. But I think that when you send a message in Messenger, if they even see the message with all those stupid Messenger settings where there's a tab behind your main messages and then you forget to check it, if one of these people who didn't even remember there is another tab, or if you've got two profiles and you don't check the tab on your second one, stuff like that, it's hiding things. So that out of the people who do see the message, when you send Messenger messages, we sign a petition, you will find that some people actually do sign, and it's worth doing it. And you might ask 10, 20 people, but then you might get 5 or 6 signing. Now that's worth it to ask 20 to get 5 or 6 signing, because that is a good return for sending it. And you can copy and paste the message, a polite message with their name on it, You know, or you paste it in and then put their name in front of it so it's tailored to them. But it's the same polite message. I'm in the same group as you. You know who they are. You know what group they're in because you've got the same interests. That's about being English. Who are these people? Well, these are my people. You know, they've got it as this is your group. So, but then if the admin's funny, he might not let you post it in his group. If the admin's really cool and chilled out, then he'll let you post it and he's not bothered. But there's only so much that, you know, you don't want. This is when you yourself don't want to spam the group. Some people couldn't give a monkeys, but you know, you've got this English conscience. You got the conscience, like, you know, I don't want to spam the group. I know what's spamming the group and what ain't spamming the group. Tagging 50 people in a post twice a day, or putting a 50 tag once in a different group each day, and then sending 50 messages. That's not spamming. When you're doing it for a petition, if I was selling drugs or freaking something else, then it may be spamming. Or if I were just posting sign up for Instagram all over the place, which Mark Zuckerberg seems to like people doing because it's his platform and people are signing up to it. You know, oh, I'm in a mushroom growing forum, but there are all these sign up to Instagram, join WhatsApp, you know, plastered all over the freaking, you know, mushroom cultivating forum. That's spam. It's not even about Instagram. It's about mushroom cultivation. Why would you want sign up to Instagram or WhatsApp posts all over Instagram? If you were in a group that was, you know, like an SEO group or a Facebook help group or a messenger group or something like that, fair enough. Not in a cricket group, you know, sign up to, you know, what's that got to do with WhatsApp, you know? But yet, you know, they can do that. So yeah, Messenger, but there's a major block on it. And also, I noticed that I used to send reasonable video file sizes. Now phones are getting more advanced. Every time you go buy a mobile phone, the video's better resolution, the pixel quality is higher, it's a higher video file. That's what Mark Zuckerberg wants to do. What's the point in... I'm making new tech, I'm making new goggles, it's going to be better than last tech. That's what I'm doing. So why the fuck is the Messenger app not sending this brand new fancy data that you've just upgraded everyone's phones to? Oh no, we downgraded it now at 25 megabyte. What? Well, what's the point in getting a new phone then if I can't send a Messenger video? Well, because people are having police riots all over the country and, you know, doing loads of actions, and we don't want them easily, quickly sharing video between each other. Oh, right, why don't you say that then? Why don't you just say, oh, well, due to political reasons in the country, due to lockdown, we've locked down the data because, you know, we don't want people sending, you know, videos of, you know, Live Free of filming police stations audits, and we don't want them quickly sending video files to each other, you know? That's why. Unless someone's hacked it. You used to be able to send up to a gigabyte or something. Sometimes it'd have error, but now it's ridiculous. Even though I've got a video that's already been sent through Messenger, 2 gigabyte, yet for some reason I can press a button and share it between people. I can share it from Messenger from one person to another person. I can share it to everyone that I'm talking to in Messenger, even though it's 2 gigabyte, because it's already been put on there before they put this 25 megabyte limit. I can keep sending a 2.5 gigabyte video to as many people as I want, but I can't put a new one on there. Just ridiculous. You know, what's going on? So, you know, there are a few things. There's this strategy originating from charities. You see, all the charities, they're just throwing the money at Facebook now. Because the charities have got their own generic petition platform that's been designed for the charity sector, which is quite a stable signature collecting platform that can be incorporated into any major charity's website. And they all use very similar websites. And they're promoting that on Facebook, you know, and they've all got this very neat and tidy representation skill. They know what photo to use to get them to sign it, you know, some animal getting abuse or something, pigs in jail, prison things. People sign a petition. They're racking up signatures, although they're saying that the main amount of signatures comes from the email list, getting all of the email lists, which is not an easy thing to do unless you get freedom of information or something like that. You can get. There are people who've been sponsored by some of these charities, but when you ask them to sponsor your petition, they won't. So the people who support and sign up to charities grow email lists. That's where they get the main bulk of the petitions from. But they're racking up. They've always got, some of them might have, 25, 30,000 if it hasn't been going that long. But a lot of these have got 200,000, which is why are you still collecting signatures for 200,000 when you've already got the 100,000? Because there's no point. You need 100,000 to have it debated, right? That's what it is. If you get 100,000 signatures, you can get it debated. But at the moment, he's not debating them because he don't want to, right? So what's the point in getting any more? Because that is it's like, when you turn your radio up to full volume 10, that's as far as it goes. That's the number to reach, 100,000. What's the point in getting 200,000? It's irrelevant. Now, if you're going to get a referendum triggered if you get 3 million, which is 5% of the electorate of the whole of England, if they're going to give you a referendum if you get 3 million, then it's worth shooting for because it does something. It's a number that is recognised, 5% of the electorate. All that, it's a number that is recognised as valuable to do something hypothetically. So if these charities think they might try and go for that 3 million, fair enough. But I don't think that most of the Greenpeace charities are going to get 3 million. I mean, that Tony Blair petition ain't getting 3 million. Very few on Change.org. Even that Ratcliffe petition only got 3 million, and they were putting that foot to the pedal to the metal. God knows what they were doing to get that, but they were going pedal to the metal on a planetary level. I think that racism one with that police officer might have got more or something. I think might have got 11 million or something. I don't know how they did that. But, I don't think that those Greenpeace charities, once they're getting up to over 100,000, it's a waste. So they're really just on there to get more money. And are they going to get those petitions heard or not? Or are they just really saying that they want the signatures, but really they're wanting the money to do more stuff and work? But, what really are they doing? And what is that work even, going to actually be helpful or not? I'm not sure. With all cancer research, when you find out the majority of cancers are coming from all the food that they're pushing on us and burnt food and toast and God knows what, cigarettes, skin cancer, all this sort of thing. It's a bit of a strange feedback loop. And I don't think that Zuckerberg and Clegg should really be making money out of those charities. Because we're all giving to the charity, right, to help a good cause. But the charity, he's not using the money for a good cause. He's giving it all to Zuckerberg and Clegg. So it's like, give money to... It's almost like saying, can you, do you want to donate to Meta and Greenpeace? Meta Peace. Do you want to donate to Meta Peace? I met a piece of pie. I met a piece of burnt pie that gave my granddaughter cancer. Met a piece of pie that was burned in the sun. A meta piece of the action. Donate to a meta piece of the action. The best charity in the world. Meta Peace. The best odds on your charity to succeed is Meta Peace. Not Greenpeace. Oh, you send me a bug report. Somebody does a bug report. Meta Peace of the bug report. I met a piece of the bug report, but there was no reply. Did you meet a piece of Facebook? No. I've never met a piece of Facebook because I'm not allowed in the building. Have you met a piece of YouTube? No, because I'm not allowed in the building. Have you met a piece of Twitter? Have you met a piece of, Elon Musk? Actually, Elon Musk seems to be doing okay at the moment for free speech, apparently. I'm not too sure what's going on with Musk because he's got this whole anonymous thing, and I'm not too sure if anonymous is Musk or if Musk is anonymous, or because Musk's into space, and I'm not too up on the whole space thing at the moment with Bezos and the whole robots thing. I'm not into the whole robots thing. I think it's a bit weird trying to make robots look human, because then you try to fool a human, and I don't think you should want to fool a human. I think that for the time being, it's better to have robots that aren't trying to look like humans, that are just functional to do something. Because then you get those crazy guys who are trying to make robots that are fooling a human. Really, the guy wants to make a robot that can beat another human, kind of out compete another human, because he likely himself can't outbeat them, so he wants to make a robot that can do it. You know what I mean? Just to beat them, really. You know, it's not fun. I don't think it's functional. I don't. While there's plenty of humans, I don't think that we should really have. While there are still nurses that can nurse people, human ones, I don't think you should be trying to replace human nurses with a robot. It's a bit weird. I think, you know, it's there's something unethical about it. It's almost like genetic engineering of babies, when they are really genetically engineering us by killing his metabolism of all those grains and breads that are nuking his metabolism, really, you know. But so yeah, my position's been obstructed, but I've got into some heavy stuff with it now, like Imperial. You know, like on Star Wars, when he says, we just want to, let's say, you know, when Obi-Wan just goes, let's say we just want to avoid any Imperial interference. You know, when they're at the space, at the, is it Dantooine? I'm not sure what it's called. When they're at the spaceport and the stormtroopers looking for them, it's like that, you know, they're trying to hide. That's what situation I'm in now, because, like, we've got some really serious Imperial Chemical Industries, and other forces building directly on heritage, where it's clearly obvious there is evidence that it's been done on purpose, with a vandalism on purpose, really. But now it's popping up all over. It's not just our ancient site. Now I've noticed that they're attacking Uffington Camp, you know, and now people are having to try and protect that site, so they're not interested in protecting our sites, they're protecting their site. And then there's also, now they're wanting to try and build next to Oswestry again, the main castle, and our site. And now that there's this Glen Druid dolmen in Ireland. It's meant to be like one of the biggest dolmens in Ireland. It's in the countryside just south of Dublin, not that far south of Dublin. And now they're wanting to put this massive block of flats next to it. Now, the thing about that dolmen, its symbolism and shape is kind of like almost explosive. It's got this explosive Irish history behind it, in its symbolism meaning as a structure. And we know the government likes symbolism and meaning in structures, because they bang that stupid white knot sculpture at the side of the M6 or M42. But I haven't been past it yet, because I haven't been driving since they built it, but I've seen a photo of it. So government, they like to make a point out of something. They do stuff to make a point out of it like that. The artists, you know, symbolically. Now, what I found out is that it happens that in Ireland, I thought the Irish were being really sensible and not building ridiculous stuff everywhere, and they were proud of the countryside. As it turns out, if they're building massive housing developments, you don't even need planning permission, and you can automatically build it anyway, right? You can just build it. Unless you can, I think you might be able to get the council to come in, step in, but then you might have to petition the council to do that. You know, I think you can petition the council to step in, but by default, they can automatically build it, you know. And some of these are mammoth, behemoth, and the terrible design, all square and really horrible. I didn't really know they were doing that in Ireland. So it turns out, don't be fooled about Ireland. It's actually becoming worse in England, and they've got a law where they can just do it. I thought it was the Tories over here who were the ones who are going to take his right to object from houses, but they started doing it in Ireland, which I thought was the place where would be the last place to do it. Turns out the reverse is true. Now, this massive block of flats, not Bar Humbug, what's it called? Bar Tower or something it's called. It's huge, massive block of so many hundred homes, 400 or so many homes in this massive block. Now, It just happened that I've just found out about this on the internet because I'm in that group, that Glen Druid group, right? And it was on the main ITV news. I don't even watch TV, but I was walking past the TV, and they were talking about the Arndale Centre and the whole terrorism thing with the IRA and the explosion, all the people that got hurt. It's like a massive block of shopping centre in middle of Manchester, the Arndale Centre. Boom! Irish explosion. So this dolmen in south of Dublin, right? It was on private land, and you wouldn't have got anywhere near it because the owner didn't want anyone to go near it, and then obviously it damaged it. So they were sort of protecting it. Now there's been all these negotiations going on between council and this private owner to actually get the public allowed to access it and go there. Now, funnily enough, what I didn't know at the same time as going on is that we didn't know that this land next to it has been allocated for development, and now they're banging up this massive, huge block of flats, which is gonna, when you go to this dolmen, you want it to look massive and spectacular, and nothing else really to overshadow it, because that's the whole point of the experience. Now, I found out they're going to be this massive blocky tower peering out over it. There's going to be kids with ice creams leaning out the window, dropping over it, and stuff. Oh, look at old dolmen down there, right? And I thought the council, when they were saying concerned about visual access, they were bothered about it for environmental and natural access, not, make sure there's going to be visual access for Tom, Dick and Harry peering out of these apartment block, or God knows who, Bono and his party pals who are going to be staying in there. I'm not sure who it's going to be, but he'll make it look rubbish. There are some sites that you want visual access from far away if it's a massive site which is got a certain position on the landscape. You want to see the landscape, right? But not when it's something like a dolmen, which really wants to be magical and enchanted. That's different. You don't want a massive tower block, dominating the skyline, or really being anywhere within the viewpoint of it, really, on the horizon. You don't really want it within a mile of it, really. Now that massive block we're going to build next to it is going to be like it's going to be like putting the Arndale Centre next to it. It's going to blow the dolmen away. It's going to make this really majestic and magnificent dolmen, like one of the biggest in Ireland, kind of be puny in a way. With these, he's going to blow it away. It's literally going to be a time bomb. Boom! Arndale Centre block of flats next to a little dolmen. Tick, tick, tick. Boom! We've just built a little dolmen. So I don't think it's a good idea. And I think, I know all the people in Ireland will think that, I'm just fantasising, or, it's just my own imagination, right? Because they don't know what's been going on to the sites in England. They don't know what's been going on to the sites in England, and they don't even want to let me talk about it in the group. So it's a sensitive subject. We know it's a freaking sensitive subject. They're going to put a freaking Arndale Centre next to the dolmen, and they've built a letter D Dunsat on our limited cap-shaped hill fort, and banged a chemical factory next to it. I know it's a sensitive situation. There's fish dying in the sea, and you don't want me to be able to speak. Permission to speak, Captain. They're a bit heavy on the moderating buttons, the Irish, and I think it's because they're all kind of like, oh, I'm a dolmen man. I've got this Irish, strong-minded Irish that he thinks that he's got this amazing, press the block button or whatever, and it's this, the dolmen power of the Irish. I will silence you. But what they don't realise is, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to show you to understand. Unfortunately, he can't see, because he's blind, that what I'm actually saying, he don't want to see the relevance of it in order to understand what's going on, so we can help each other to sort the problem out. And then there won't be a situation. Who's a sensitive situation? A sensitive situation. I know! That's why we need to freaking act and do something about it. It's a freaking sensitive situation. Do you know what I mean? We know it's a sensitive situation. Well, why would I be trying to explain to you what's going on and how we can solve it? It's almost, it's weird, the silence of the lambs almost. So, even though no one will be suspicious, it's not always the developer who is always behind it. Who popped the idea into their head? What TV program were they watching? What radio program was on? What things popped up with the computer of the developer? Who suggested it? Observations. Now, these Irish observations, right? Acting through observations. People are getting queued to do stuff like on the bus. Next stop, next stop, next stop. Ignore the stops. You just keep ignoring the stops and let the driver take you where we're going, even though, we don't need to be saying next stop, next stop, next stop every single time, because that place isn't called stop, next stop, and that's not called next stop, and that's called next stop. So I say next stop in front of every sentence every 10 seconds, because we've got this cue phrase called next stop that we want to drill into your head and just not act when you hear it. Ignore the next stop cue. When a little thing in your brain starts twinging to act, just ignore it and carry on. When someone asks you on a petition, on a website to sign a petition and help them, stop. Don't sign that. And further, if no one's helped you and we've already done you over with your houses, likely if you working class, we'll have done you over somewhere along the line, because we ain't been getting crap wages your life. So don't help anyone else. Don't help anyone else out. Don't do that. Next up, carry on. And by the way, if you don't buy a passport and start going on holidays with Richard Branson, or start driving yourself, and then you have to listen to the next stop cues on the bus, then you're not going to be voting. You're not even, basically, next stop is no voting land, unless you pay 75 quid to, guess who? Mark Zuckerberg and Nick Clegg, which is £75 worth of Facebook advertising, which likely won't result in many clicks, when you could have just messaged, 1,000 people from the group and got 200 signatures, which, for the best part of, copying and pasting into Messenger for, I'll put 5 hours into it. For 5 hours, you could probably do 1,000 with a couple of cups of tea in between, and then, have a day off. And then you'd still be pushing it to get 100,000 anyway in 6 months, because you've still got to get one a minute, unless you've got a bot doing it. And if they want to stop bots, fair enough. But I'm talking about doing it manually. But you could get a bot anyway if you could be bothered making 100 Facebook profiles. If you sat there for a whole week and then made 100 Facebook profiles, you could apparently program it with a bot to get all the Facebook Messenger contacts, or a few thousand of them, and then you could just set it going to do 100, switch account, do 100, switch account, do 100, switch account, do 100, switch account, do 100, and you could do 1,000 a day that way, and then you can do 7,000 a week. And if you're in a group with 11,000 people, you get 7,000 of them, a large proportion of them done. If you got 2,000 signatures from that, it would have been worth it. And that is probably the best way to rack up 2,000 signatures, without putting it all over the groups everywhere. I think. But there is a strategy. I mean, you might not see the strategy. It's all about understanding what 38 degrees is, who's running it, what sort of people go on there, and do the majority of people who go on there are out and about walking around the streets in town centre, students or kids with mums? They're going to be in an environment where they can approach people and get paper signatures and then scan them and upload them or whatever, or share it in groups. What sort of groups are there? If it's a mum who's got a mum profile with a family and kids, and it is for their own local housing estate, everyone on it's going to sign it. If you are a lone person in a posh house and you're wanting to oppose an housing estate next to you where not really many people live in the area at the moment, you aren't going to get loads of people to support it, because there ain't anyone there to sign it. Who cares? If you're already in an housing estate that's getting another housing estate built next to it, then you've got the people who are getting annoyed about the other ones. So it's all situational. with this whole change.org thing, it's predominantly world people and foreign people who don't give a damn about middle class people's interests. So throwing money into there is going to make change.org very, very rich. And Tories love it because Tories who have already robbed half the country can strategically just create a dummy petition, or, not a dummy petition, one for some cause, what they know all the public are going to uproar about. They'll get the media to fine-tune it. They get a really strategic picture, right, what's going to set, hell ablazing. It's going to... What do the Tories want to achieve? Right, we really need to build houses, and we want people to want to let us build houses, and we need to make it look like we don't want to be protecting the countryside or heritage sites. So I'll play cards right. I've got the perfect photograph for that. I am a photography competition expert and winner on a world-class level, right? Fuck Rupert Murdoch. This is the photo. This is the cream de la fucking cream photo. Look at this. We've got a refugee problem at the moment all over the news, which we're promoting, Murdoch's promoting, getting everyone rip-roaring up about that. How about this photo of these refugees dragging the suitcases across, right, with nowhere to live or stay, in front of all this barren, empty land, what looks like it could, Mixed Into Rebellion might want to rewild it or put some forest there or grow some, God knows what they're growing, hops or whatever it is, apple trees, right? But wouldn't it be convenient, really? No one's using that land, it's not particular. We should build houses there for these refugees. So A, build houses, B, help refugees. Helps Bob the Builder, helps Balfour Beatty. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Balfour Beatty did that photo. Balfour Beatty strategic planning team. Oh, what's on the news at the moment? How can we... What better to sell Balfour Beatty homes than get on change.org, get his hand in his pocket, I'll put 10 grand into it. There's £10,000, a bit of my playtime money, bit of my Playboy money, 10 grand into a change.org petition. Straight past fucking Tony Blair's knighthood, straight to the top, change.org, straight next to, his Pretty Patel Ratcliffe. Then you've got, here we go, refugees dragging a suitcase in front of barren land. Everyone goes, oh my God, no, we got to house these refugees. We can't oppose housing and we can't start protecting all these ancient sites because we need to build houses there. Who cares about land when there are people who need houses? Because that's what we're doing at the moment, banging people out everywhere. And then everyone change.org, oh, sign it. You got everyone in, Botswana is signing it. Everyone in Bangladesh is signing it. Everyone in Nigeria is signing it. Everyone in Mexico is signing it. Everyone in Syria is signing it. And you got 3 million signatures, and they're wanting to get a referendum, But then, middle class people in England put the petition on there. Oh, could you help our, local school or whatever, and you put 10 quid in, 20 quid in, 30 quid in, 100 quid in. Oh, oh, well, you've had 600 views and you got 80 signatures. It cost about 300 quid or something, Now, just a minute. If I would have promoted that on 38 Degrees, and if they, people who ran 38 Degrees would have, put on a pay for promotion on their website instead of just picking and choosing, strategic planning, strategically choosing who will fail and who will succeed in their positions, then you might have had a chance of getting to the audience, seeing, it's the right audience, but otherwise not, because someone in the government is strategically going after the people who run 38 Degrees and then getting them, arrested for drugs dealing or whatever it is, and then somebody else replaces it who the government can trust with 38 Degrees. I remember when 38 Degrees started off advertising in the newspaper just before Extinction Rebellion, putting petitions in there in the newspaper, and then it's, this petition company can allowed to rise up, it's the government's strategic little pulling strings, and 38 Degrees rises up, and its rebellions and money flows in through celebrities, and its rebellion are allowed to cause an uproar. It gives a perfect good excuse for the government to give the entire rights, a Bill of Rights and MOT. What how convenient. I'm kind of sick of it. And Clegg, the thing with Clegg is, he knows what I'm talking about. Clegg knows what I'm talking about. It's all arranged from behind the scenes, you see. But yet, Anonymous is dicking around with my Facebook account and other stuff, and things aren't working properly. Submit things, they're getting hacked. Imperial powers. The empire is at work, behind the scenes, The wheels aren't turning for us, for other people are turning. So it's being set up at the moment. It's like, why is there only Facebook? Why is it? Why is that? Why is there not, like this ITV, BBC, Channel 4? There's Facebook. Then where's the other one that's like Facebook, and then the other one that's like Facebook with nearly as many people on it? How many people watch Channel 4? Well, you can say, well, that's Twitter. Well, Twitter's a bit different because Twitter's like a sentence, isn't it? You just send a sentence and a few hashtags. It's not like groups with a messenger thing. I don't get it. Where's the messenger that doesn't have a limit on how many messages you can send? If it's being suppressed, it ain't there because someone in the government who meets with Sheryl Sandberg and people like that and does handshakes doesn't want there to be a Facebook that doesn't have a cap on Messenger. That's why. Because otherwise, then, you're going to get things, things done. They're not going to be building houses next to people who don't want them built next to them. They're going to have to build them where somebody ain't bothered about them building them, right? And that might end up not being at all for a while, and then they might not be able to go buy the bacon butties or the power drill or the new cat digger or whatever they want to buzz around in, or the Ivys jackets, and then, they might not be able to move out of an house, so they might not be able to, have sex as much and bang as many kids out unless you start, playing, Goodnight John Boy and all that. It's going to be restrictive to this urban sprawl. And the fact is, at Huddersfield, we've got 5% of our electorate, 15,000, is 5 times of, like, even the Vale of the White Horse, North Shropshire, Perth. We've got 5 times as many people. And that is because of that Imperial Chemical Industries. It is because of, Bradford, Leeds, Dewsbury. That's why. And only two people. My granddad, right? My dad and my granddad, really, and then his dad. 3 people alive on this planet. It did not. You haven't been here with 3 family members. Didn't get us to where we are now, right? And the only thing is that we didn't know. We only, I only knew my granddad. Well, if you only knew your granddad, you didn't know much. Then how did you get here? You got here through a good few, a good 1,000 people or so, or whatever, how many it is, 1,000 people walk this planet for you to be here. It wasn't just 2 people, right? It wasn't your granddad working at ICI and, his other granddad before that who were, a cricket umpire who also, might have had an ice cream factory or whatever it was, or an ice cream seller who immigrated from Italy, because before that, it were all fields in West Yorkshire. It was not 15,000, 5% of the electorate. So we're talking like, boom, there's Roseanne Arnold. Roll the ball back a little bit. Roll the marbles back. There's Dan and Roseanne Arnold. Roll the ice creams back. We've got the photographs. The cameras haven't been around that long. There's your great-great-granddad there. Or 3 people. Well, what about photos before then? We didn't have cameras. Wow. Fuck me, we didn't have a big mess either. 3 people. I'm proud of that. How the frick did I get here? Let me look in the mirror. Oh, who's that? Who's that handsome fellow there in the mirror? How did I get here? Do I need to look at the photographs? This is it. There's a mess happening. It's getting messy. And that's why Extinction Rebellion are kicking off. But they're just... The thing with Extinction Rebellion is that they won't sign anyone else's petitions either under their own. The Extinction Rebellion, environment, anything to do with environment, forest, trees. Oh, I've got a petition for forests and trees. Well, is it? Smashing windows, though. I'm not signing your petition. You're not putting, you're not spraying stuff on walls, And is it 5%? Well, do you know everything about ecology and the environment and the 5% directive? Well, I'm more into rewild this area and put some trees back and save the ancient site while we're at it. Will you sign it? No! We're far too busy because, it's 16% carbon emissions at 5.2% APR. If you can't answer that question, I'm not signing your petition because you're not a true eco-warrior. and you might be wanting to plant some trees, but are you going to plant them yourself? I'm not signing your petition so you can get the council to put those trees there. You're doing it by hand. Well, what's the point of me getting a petition then if I'm going to do it myself? Have you planted 500 trees, scrubbed 15, have you built a tree house? Right. If you've built a tree house, right, actually hand-woven 8 persons dreadlocks, got a trowel, with Selkie Kirk, whatever she is, who's had been on Rewilding Group, if you've done, 18 hours community service work with her, planted 18 trees, done anchor yourself to 18 bars, put 5 windows through, reduce your car emissions by 15%, 4 calling birds, 3 fench hens, 2 turtle doves, and being 2 Gales party in a pear tree, then Gail might think about, giving the words that it's okay, everyone, you're all right to sign that petition now, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Now, okay then, all right, sign this petition, I've given the okay for it, thumbs up, thumbs down in the arena in Rome. There's Gail's thumbs up or down, gonna go thumbs up or thumbs down. Will everyone in the group sign it or not? Ooh, no! Oh, damn, I haven't planted enough trees, even though my petition is calling for planting, 5,000 new trees. But I'm not doing, are you planting them yourself? Well, if we get permission, yeah. There's a logic in that, Gail. It's kind of ridiculous. And then there's everyone else who just didn't give a damn. And that's like the people who are meant to give a damn, but still don't fit the criteria. Fit the spam criteria on Facebook would be one thing. Is this spam? Well, is it on the government naughty list? Stealing bread. It's on the government naughty list. Don't do that. No. Right? Okay, then headbutting people. Is that on the government naughty list? Yeah, it's on the naughty list. No, don't do that. Okay, then how about going to a pub, walking behind the bar and picking up all the alcohol and walking out of the pub without paying for it. Is that on the naughty list? Oh, no, that's on the naughty list. You're not allowed to do that one. Okay, how about this? Petitioning the government. Is that on the... Can we do that one? What do we have to do for that? Well, it says here, ask as many people as you can to sign a petition, on these social media platforms, Facebook or Twitter, or with emails. Ask as many people as you can. Share the same petition. That's the same one, yeah. It says the same thing on it. Every sheet the same. Every sheet's the same. Share the petition with as many people as possible. Is that on the government good list? Yes, it's the good thing to do that. Politics, give them politics. You know, well, all right then, here's Facebook. Right then, let's get doing it. This is a good thing to do. Share, ask as many people as you can to send a petition. Okay then, here we go. Oh, what's the petition for? Okay then, it's for ancient sites. All right, ancient sites, here we go. Right then, here's a members list. Right, I start messaging people. Hi, will you sign my petition, please? Hi, will you sign my petition, please? Hi, will you sign my petition, please? Your account has been suspended. You have done a bad, naughty thing. Really? I thought it was a good thing. No, it's a bad thing. It's a naughty thing. You're being punished now for 24 hours. What? You know. And I was told by the government that it was a good thing. No wonder Boris is under scrutiny for going to naughty parties. He thought it was a good thing, but it was a bad thing. I thought sending messages were a good thing. Now Mark and Nick are saying that's a bad thing. Naughty boy, slap your wrist. You know. It's like, Boris, I thought it was good to go to parties. No, Boris, it was bad. It was a naughty thing. You shouldn't have done that in lockdown, Boris. Naughty. Now you're being fined 3 times. This is it. I don't know what's going on, what's good and what's bad. Well, that's it, Boris. If you obeyed the law and the rules, you know what's good and bad, but you keep changing them all the time, particularly when you're losing. So something that, it was good to want to do petitions and ask people to sign them. Now, because when you do that, the Tories lose, it's not a good thing anymore. It's a bad thing, so we're not allowed to do it. Don't ask people to sign petitions, unless they're on change.org and all foreign and couldn't give a monkeys about, middle-class English causes. And for the people that do give a monkeys, you're not allowed to message them all because you might win. And you certainly can't use 38 degrees. We've got that locked down. Everything's under control. Send the signals to 38 degrees, observations, make sure the right people are in charge of the right platforms. We don't want all those middle-class English people getting their petitions promoted on that website, 38 degrees, because people might actually sign it and care on that type of website, This is it,